Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Baina Midday News, coming to you live from Atomic Junction, Benab House, Medina. My name is Sherifatu Ayuba. Coming up in the headlines, government promise to complete La General Hospital is a ploy for votes, says Akando. Government to establish agricultural zones to drive sustainable and commercially oriented agriculture. NDC's National Executive Committee opens door for potential presidential running mate with Mahama. Details of the stories comes up shortly. Thank you for staying at. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Baina TV. Moving on to our first story, the minority member of Health Committee of Parliament, Kwabena Minta Akando, says the assurance given by the President to ensure the reconstruction of the La General Hospital is just a ploy to solicit votes in the upcoming general elections.
While addressing Ghanaians on the state of the nation on Tuesday, President Akufo-Addo assured that the La General Hospital will be completed within 28 months after the government secure alternative funding for the project, which has stalled for over 3 years. The president said the hospital project, which has been the subject of eager anticipation and widespread public interest, will undergo a remarkable transformation. He said the development underlines the government's unwavering commitment to improving healthcare infrastructure and services across the nation. But the ranking member on the Health Committee, Kwabena Minta Akando, says the government is not committed to the completion of the health facility. He said they are going into an election and so they have mobilized contractors there, not with the intention of completing the project, but to keep the contractors there in the name of getting votes. It has been more than 4 years since the facility was demolished, but because it is an election year, they are saying that there is a contractor on the project, but that is a deception.
The Executive Director of Ghana Integrity Initiative, Mary Ada, has expressed concern about the approach being taken by the country to combat corruption. According to her, the fight against corruption has been more of a talk show than a practical and action-oriented approach.
She mentioned that institutions mandated to address these menaces often fall short by merely talking about it rather than taking decisive actions. Despite widespread public awareness regarding corruption, there has been a lack of prosecutions and sanctions for wrongdoings or corrupt practices. Ms. Ada believes that the gap between rhetoric and action contributes to the persistence of corruption in the country. To address this, she emphasized the urgency of moving beyond words and implementing effective measures. In her view, a strong commitment to holding wrongdoers accountable is essential for curbing corruption and ensuring a more transparent and accountable society. Ms. Ada also highlighted that the state of corruption in the country is being fueled by rhetoric rather than action, and most of the public sector institutions, including the executive, are seen to be talking about the issue more than taking action. Despite a lot of public awareness, corruption does not reflect in actual investigations, prosecutions, and sanctioning of the corrupt. Furthermore, the restrictive nature of the legislation, particularly in defining what exactly corruption is, has resulted in people getting away with all sorts of wrongdoings.
Meanwhile, the government has announced its readiness to establish agricultural zones in parts of the country which have the potential to become food baskets for the nation. The strategy is a complementary initiative aimed to addressing accessibility to large tracts of agricultural land, which in turn will drive sustainable and commercially oriented agriculture.
The project, which is under the phase 2 of the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative, is to be established in the Afram Place, Chopoli, Kumewu, Kratche and Nkranza, among other areas. Delivering his penultimate State of the Nation's address to Parliament, President Akufo-Addo indicated that the initiative will facilitate the country's vision of becoming self-sufficient in food production. He said the government will collaborate with the private sector for essential provisions including irrigation and infrastructure, develop access roads, extend power, either solar or hydro, and provide mechanization services. The government is also investing in making the agricultural space more attractive to the youth with the continuous incorporation of technology. President Akufo-Addo said, according to the president, some farming implements including tractors and accompanying implements, power tillers with accessories, maize shellers, units of combined harvesters, and rice millers have been distributed to farmers under the third and final tranche of the Brazilian More Food Program. Processors and mechanization service providers on hire purchase arrangements have also been made available to farmers with hopes of distributing more farming tools to the sector. The president assured that enhancing technology utilization in the agricultural space will significantly expand Ghana's production capacity in rice, soybeans, maize, and tomato. President Akufo-Addo anticipates a continuous healthy trajectory